Imagine a company that can predict the next terrorist attack before it happens. Track a pandemic in real time across continents. Tell a Fortune 500 CEO exactly which employee to fire next week. And even whisper to soldiers on a battlefield, aim here. This company doesn't advertise on TV. You won't find their app on your phone. Most people have never even heard their name. But right now, they're running wars, managing crises, and making decisions that affect your life. They're called Palantir. And today, I'm going to show you how they became the most powerful company you've never heard of. September 11th, 2001. 2 towers fell. 3,000 people died. And America asked one question: how did we miss this? Here's the truth nobody wants to admit. We didn't miss it. The FBI knew suspicious individuals were taking flight training. The CIA had intercepted communications. Immigration had flagged unusual travel patterns. The puzzle pieces were all there. They were scattered across different agencies, locked in incompatible systems, buried in bureaucracy. Nobody connected the dots because the dots were in different universes. This is where Peter Thiel enters the story. Thiel had just sold PayPal and made a fortune using algorithms to stop credit card fraud. Now he had a radical idea. If algorithms can catch a stolen credit card, why can't they catch a terrorist? In 2003, he founded Palantir, named after the all-seeing crystal balls from Lord of the Rings. The name wasn't subtle. They wanted to see everything. But here's where it gets interesting. Who funded this ambitious startup? Not traditional Silicon Valley investors. Their first major backer was In-Q-Tel's own venture capital firm. Yes, the CIA has a VC fund. And they were betting big on Palantir. Fast forward to 2007, Iraq and Afghanistan. American troops were fighting 2 wars simultaneously, drowning in intelligence reports, thousands of documents daily, IEDs exploding, soldiers dying, and nobody could connect the information fast enough to save lives. Palantir deployed their software, Gotham. It did something revolutionary. It took fragmented data and made it visual, like Google Maps, but for warfare. Now commanders could see who planted the bomb, who bought the phone that triggered it, who funded the operation. The entire terrorist network mapped in real time. Special forces loved it. Generals demanded it. For the first time, soldiers actually wanted the new technology because it kept them alive. But back in Washington, Palantir faced a massive problem. The Pentagon has an old boys club. Defense contracts go to established players with lobbyists and connections. Palantir had neither. When the Army tried to award a $200 million contract to a legacy contractor without even considering Palantir, they did something insane. They sued the United States Army, a tiny startup, against the most powerful military on Earth, and they won. A federal judge ruled the Army had broken the law. The message was clear: innovation wins. The old guard loses. But winning came with consequences nobody anticipated. After proving themselves in war zones, other agencies wanted Palantir's power. Immigration and Customs Enforcement ICE became a client. Now the same technology tracking terrorists was tracking undocumented immigrants in America. The system would flag people based on social connections, travel patterns, algorithmic. Threat scores example. Subject S cousin rented a truck near a location of interest. Recommend detention. Translation: his cousin drives a Honda. Arrest him anyway. Civil rights groups erupted. Immigrant communities felt hunted. Inside Palantir, employees began resigning in protest. One engineer said, "I wanted to stop terrorists, not tear apart families." But the contracts kept coming. More agencies. More money. Palantir had evolved from a counter-terrorism tool into something darker, a surveillance machine. By the late 2010s, Palantir realized something crucial. Governments move slow. CEOs sign checks fast. They launched Foundry, Gotham's corporate version. Less military, more business casual. Suddenly oil companies used it to optimize drilling. Pharma giants managed clinical trials with it. Hedge funds predicted market movements before anyone else. But here's what made Foundry terrifying. It didn't just give you data. It told you what to do. Shut down Plant 3, fire Dave from logistics, increase inventory in Region 7 by 35%. Companies followed these AI recommendations without understanding how the decisions were made. Palantir exploded everywhere. The US government tracked outbreaks. Hospitals managed vaccine distribution. The UK predicted PPE shortages. One official admitted, "We gave a private company massive power over healthcare decisions because their interface looked impressive. Nobody understood how the system worked. It was a black box, making life and death decisions." February 2022. Russia invades Ukraine. Within days, Palantir was operational in Ukraine, not with weapons, but with data warfare. Ukrainian forces used Palantir to map Russian supply lines in real time, optimize artillery strikes, predict enemy movements. Palantir called it AI for warfighting. Battlefield intelligence wasn't just satellite photos anymore. It was algorithms telling soldiers, "Fire here now." The company positioned itself as heroes defending democracy. But critics saw something else. The Oracle of Orwell, a war profiteer selling surveillance as salvation. Because Palantir wasn't just helping militaries. Their tech was being used for predictive policing, forecasting crimes before they happen. Border surveillance, mass monitoring programs, none of it transparent. None of it accountable. Palantir's response: "We just build the hammer. How it's used isn't our responsibility, but when your hammer can see everything, predict everything, and influence everything, that's not a tool, that's power." Today, Palantir is invisible infrastructure. It's behind military briefings in NATO headquarters, corporate decisions in Fortune 500 boardrooms, government pandemic responses. They've moved beyond analyzing the present.